And we are live. Welcome everybody to another edition of Deconversion Stories, my fellow unbelievers and friends and like. Today I'm talking with Rise to Raze, who's
Hello, everyone.
fairly newcomer to our little atheist community on Twitter. And you do have a YouTube channel, which I didn't know, so I will amend the description below to point people in that direction.
Right now it's only a gameplay channel. It frankly ain't worth it.
Oh, okay. Well, if you do start to do your atheism activism, then let me know, and I will. I'll add a link to the description once you do that, so that it'll be there for future reference. Looks like Red Venture is with us, which is cool. Whoops, I was about to call him Ted.
I don't think he's Quoos.
No. Oh, and Convert Me is with us now as well. Here on this, I should shut myself off there. Okay, so what we do here is we discuss our deconversion stories. Of course, I have yet to tell mine, and I will eventually do that. So basically what I want to know is, when you were younger, like I'm not entirely sure how long you've been without religion, but what was it that you first noticed to kind of start making you think in that direction of that you really didn't believe this stuff anymore, and the pathway that led you to the point you're at now where you are, you're on Twitter as a bit of an atheist activist. So can you tell us about that, like your first point?
The thing that got me first questioning all of it seriously, rather than just posing a little question and then whatever happened, that's the answer from God. It came through actually learning about how Noah's Ark, how structurally speaking such a boat couldn't walk, how just the sheer amount of creatures that would have needed to be on the boat, even if it could theoretically stay seaworthy, would cause everything on there to die either by sinking or carbon monoxide poisoning just through all the off-gassing of the animals. Just
methane.
Yeah. And that's what started to get me really questioning and doubting the validity of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Before then, I was a young Earth creationist, a very fundamentalist Baptist. Once I started to take my religion seriously.
Okay. So how long have you been an atheist now?
I would say about 5 years. That's just when I started to call myself an atheist, but it's probably been closer to about 7.
Okay. When you first decided you were going to let people know, like your friends, your family, that kind of thing, how did they react? Are they like full-on believers, or are they so?
Most of my friends are believers. My entire family is. I live deep in the Bible Belt. It's kind of expected.
Right.
So for a good bit of my friends, I was rightfully worried. That's why I spent about 2 years calling myself an agnostic. I realize now that I completely butchered how that word is used, but it made me feel better to not have the stigma of the word atheist tied to me.
Right. You were probably still, thinking the the baggage that goes with the word atheist to believers, anyways, was probably still attached to that word for you, I imagine.
Oh, very, very much so. I struggled for years, even after I started to call myself an atheist, struggled just to try to untie those chains that were associated with that world from my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Just because how I grew up, it was atheists are very much evil, satanic people. um, that they want nothing more than to destroy Christian America.
Right.
So
You hear
that
shit like war on Christmas and stuff like that.
actually no, that wasn't something that I ever associated with it. I
Huh.
Because even then I knew just how little of a population atheists made in America.
Mm-hmm.
I very much fell into the no true Scotsman fallacy where, oh,
Right.
most of these people aren't true Christians, so they are attacking Christmas. They don't want it to be as it's supposed to be. So I lobbied it at fellow Christians instead.
Yeah, I guess you're right,
Yeah,
because a lot of people kind of took the whole Christ out of Christmas, even some Christians, where it was more all about the commercialism of it and just getting together with family and friends. And, you know, not everyone went to Mass. Like, even I've been to Mass and I was raised Jewish. But my birth family, however, were Catholic, some of them. So I went with them just for a lark to see what it was. I think the first Christmas that I did with them was the time I tried it out. And I never went back because I was like, yawn.
yeah. There were some churches now where I'll still go occasionally just because my mother wants me to, and I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. And then I go and I
Make mom
realize,
happy.
oh, yeah, and I realize like, oh my God, I used to partake in this. Are they okay? Because I would see people screaming and throwing their arms up and running around the churches. I'm just like, this is like
Lunacy.
this one person is screaming like a banshee. Are they okay? So it was
Being molested by the Holy Spirit.
it's very much an eye opener to still go back into that environment and see just how crazy it actually is looking at it from the outside.
Right, sure.
But to get back on point, yeah, when I first actually started to come out as an atheist, I was scared. I did lose friends. Um, a few members of my family, not many, did stop talking to me for a while. Uh, so it did make it difficult. It made it to where once I lost one of my first friends from it, I very much withdrew back and like, okay, I can't do this label
Mm-hmm.
because I always had a very small social group.
Okay. Like tight knit kind of thing?
No, I'm just socially awkward.
Oh,
So
you're doing fine here, so I don't see that.
I'm viewing this as just a one-on-one. I know other people are watching, but
Yeah, there's a few.
so long as I don't try to focus on that, I'm fine. Plus, I've had my anxiety medication, so that helps.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, but like I could count my social friends, my social circle on both my hands, and maybe half of an extra imaginary hand. Like I did not have a whole lot.
Well, I think now you've made some new friends,
Oh,
albeit social media version, but
I have made friends over the years through it, and I've made more friends just via online through PlayStation Network, where they are definitely accepting of it.
mhm.
They don't agree with it, but they are very much a this is your life. I can't tell you what to do.
Oh, that's cool. Some people
Yeah,
try to, so
yeah. Those people I typically just I don't have a whole lot to do with them unless I want to mock them. Um, but so I did lose maybe about five or so friends, and that was a good chunk of my social circle that was just
did did
gone.
any of them come back, realize maybe they overreacted, or
One of them did. The other ones, uh, they still think that I'm an envoy of Satan. I'm just like, that is that's almost insultingly pitiful.
well, I mean, if you think about it, this is something that they just can't seem to grasp. You
I,
haven't changed as a person. Just your opinion on an idea has
I,
changed. That's
I
it.
I know it. That really is it, but within the community I grew up in, it's a very small knit community. I live in between three major cities
Mhm.
within Paulding County. Um, so it's just the middle of buttfuck nowhere. Like
Ooh,
we
the
have,
godless Iowan would love that. He's all about the butt stuff.
oh, he may love this place, but I sure don't. The only place I like about it is my comic book store.
Well, hey, there you go. I'm in. Well, I have a
Well,
few, but
they're
I was a
closing
big comic
down.
collector too. Oh no way!
There's not enough people to come to them, and it makes me
That
sad.
sucks. That
It
sucks.
does. I have so many comics from them. Um,
You'll have to hit the
but
big cities now.
I know. Though I at least like going there. Those
You could order
people,
online and they'll ship them to you too, right? As long as you're on top of the new stuff.
I could, but I'm horribly behind, and I use the comic book stores as a place to talk about comics. Just like, hey, what am I
Sure,
missing right now? Just to kind of keep me in the loop.
sure.
Um, but with the community that I grew up in, they very much still to this day don't realize that all an atheist is just someone who rejects the positive claim that a God exists. They are very much in the camp that they're in the apologist camp where, oh, you know God exists, you just hate him, you want to rebel against him. And it's like, that's a
Just want to sin.
misotheist. Yeah, and it's like, that's a misotheist. And if I wanted to sin, why would I reject the only thing that could give me salvation for it?
Right. I mean, literally, if you go biblically about what they say is all you have to do is accept Christ. Doesn't matter what you do. As long as you're
Yeah,
saved, once you've accepted, you're saved, and you can be a complete dick for the rest of your life, you're still going to heaven.
yeah. And I don't agree with that as a concept now. I know back then God, I used to believe all sorts of crazy stuff.
Oh, we all did, my friend. We all
Ooh, dark days for me.
did.
Um, um, so they still believe that, and I'm just I can't wrap my head around it now. Like I used to agree with them, and now I'm just like I don't under like I would still believe in him and could still ask for forgiveness from my you do realize you make the claim God exists. I say I don't believe you. That's not the same as saying, "Oh, I believe you, but just fuck that." Like,
No, of course not.
no, they're not the same, but they just refuse to believe that. They refuse to really listen to what I have to say about it, and as a result, I've stopped talking to them
Good.
entirely. I don't have them blocked or anything. Uh, Frankly, just because I don't like blocking people. I've only ever blocked one person, and that's just my ex-fiance.
Oh, well, I don't really block too many people either. I've blocked Helen Ohenzo. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that crazy ass.
I've heard his name. I saw the screen cap from Bionic Dance about it, and all I thought is, what's wrong with his head? It looks like a malformed inflated balloon.
Yeah, right.
Like it looks wrong.
Yeah, I think he's alien. To
It
be honest.
it does look like he might just be. But as for any of his views, I've heard that he rivals Eve Kevanine, however you pronounce her name, on sheer
Eve. Oh,
I hear he rivals her in stupidity, but
yep.
I don't know. She makes Lee Strobel and William Lane Craig look smart and honest.
Well, you know what though, William Lane Craig, other than his lunacy about religious belief, he's an extremely smart guy. Outside
Oh,
of that,
yeah, he is. It's just when he gets to his apologetics is when it's like, oh, wow, you don't know how any of this shit works.
that's right. Yeah,
Like that's
yeah
not how
he's
that's
not
not
there.
how any of this works.
Yeah, he doesn't get that though.
Which
And
I
he
mean, what would
pretends to know things that he just doesn't know. Right.
yeah, it's almost as embarrassing as Deepak Chopra, where you just don't understand something. Quantum.
Yeah, him and Deepak Chopra, they love to word salad the shit out of that just to make it sound
Oh,
all deep and meaningful when it's nothing but a bunch of nonsensical woo that they're spewing.
yeah, and God, looking at some of their arguments, I don't know how anyone finds them convincing. But then again, if I had listened to them back when I was a fundamental, I probably would have been all on board with them.
Oh, sure. Sure,
Just,
your bias of the time would have had you lapping that up like a dog with a fresh bowl of cream or something.
I'm not even sure I would have called it my bias. It's just I was ignorant. I I had a childish view of the world and how it worked. I very much did believe in moral absolutes. Everything was black or white. Though, so it was just childish. I would have bought into it just for that reason alone. Just that I wouldn't have known any better. I I didn't know how syllogisms worked. I didn't know how basic argument structure worked. I would have saw the arguments and not knowing how to combat them just would have been like, oh, this makes sense at face value. I can't see any flaws with the argument. It must be true.
Right. Yeah,
So
until you
it
start
was,
seeing them repackage the same arguments a little bit, alter them slightly, like creationism became intelligent design kind of thing.
yeah. At the same time, I do see glaring differences in between the two because there are some creationists who absolutely abhor that idea,
Mm.
where it's just nope, everything popped into existence 6,000 years ago absolutely no change in the species whatsoever, whereas most intelligent design advocates don't at least accept. I recognize that jingle.
Hmm? Oh, did my phone go off again? Fuck. That's my bad. Yeah, sometimes it does that.
It sounded like the old
That's the
boomerang jingle.
No, that's the Jetsons doorbell. Is
Huh.
what that is.
Might have been work because I used to play on boomerang a whole lot. Okay.
Yeah.
Um.
Boomerang. Are you
Um.
talking about the old show Boomerang?
The old channel.
Oh, okay. Because there was a kids show when I was a kid called Boomerang, and fuck, I still know the theme song for Christ's sake. And I think it was I think they were. Oh no, that was Circle Square. That was religious overtones, but I think Boomerang had a little bit too.
It wouldn't
Anyway,
surprise me. Most older shows did.
yeah, they had their
But
own
like
goofy Muppets on there and shit. So
yeah, like I know intelligent creation advocates at least accept microevolution, though I don't see how they don't realize that automatically means they accept micro just by definition, not macro. But stupid people, can't reason with them.
nope.
Creationists, I found, tend to even reject that. Like I know I have a few coworkers who they don't even accept microevolution,
Really.
and it's just it's befuddling to me because it's like, how do you like? Do you not think your children are genetically different from you? Well, yeah, but that's not even microevolution. They're still the same thing, and it's like, oh, okay. I'm not sure what to say to that. Um, but wow, I get sidetracked a lot.
That's okay. That's okay. I don't even think they know exactly what microevolution is and what macroevolution is.
Oh, definitely not, because if you accept one, just by virtue of accepting that time is a thing, you have to accept the other as an axiomatic truth. They are literally the same thing, just time being the only difference.
Well, yeah, I mean, both of them are, they rely on the same established mechanisms of evolutionary change. Just one of them's on small scale within a species, and the other one goes outside the boundaries of the species. Like you start with a specific type and changes happen, then now there's a couple of different types, and so further and further.
It macro relies on species groups that are separated from the overarching species.
Correct. They can no longer interbreed.
Yeah, which that brings up ring species, because species is a very confusing term. Because you think of like a Great Dane and a Chihuahua, they're the same species, because all a species is just two animals that can interbreed.
Well, yeah, and then you get into like clades and stuff like that too.
Yeah, and then you go and look at like the Florida rabbit and the Alaskan rabbit, and they cannot interbreed, even though they look almost identical. Yep. They are entirely separate species, and so that's where ring species come in, and they are truly fascinating.
No, yeah, for sure.
And confusing.
Well, the only way to end the confusion is to learn a little more, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, heck, we're in the golden age of information. If you don't understand something and you don't try to learn it, well, you're just a willful, ignorant buffoon.
Yep, agreed.
And honestly, that's not on anyone else to. If you are willingly ignorant, that's not anyone else's fault. That's simply your own. Especially if you are on a phone or a computer where you literally have the entire human's reservoir of information at your fingertips.
Somebody posted something funny in the comments here. I'll read to you. They're quoting you. It's like species is a very confusing term. To which they replied, not as confusing as the term kind. That, you know, like fucking bovine and ham used to like to use all the time.
Though, if you've ever watched Pothole, he does break down that Hovind does define what a kind is. It's the exact same thing as a species.
Well,
they are the exact same thing, because how he defines them or how we define species. He just... Oh, of course, he branches it out a bit further. Well, hey, it's a rabbit, so it's a rabbit kind. But for the most part, he does keep it to exactly what a species is, and he can't see the fault in his own argument.
Well, now, you know how we have species and then we have subspecies? I guess there has to be subkinds?
I don't know, because I've always...
another invented word?
I've always wondered where kinds fit within the nested hierarchy, because oh no, stop playing Naruto. Sorry, we're watching all that, right?
That's all right.
Accidentally sat on the controller.
Oops.
Yeah.
Damn it! I just got to level 29.
I've always wondered where it fits. Does it fit in species, family, genus, or if it fits into one of those, does it fit in? Which chordae does it fit into? Which taxonomical branch do we put it in? They like to throw out word salad, but they absolutely hate defining what any of it means, because then people can go about disproving them. And
that's right.
I don't know if it's just intellectual dishonesty, fear, or stupidity that prevents them.
I think it's intellectual dishonesty, to be honest, coupled with a bit of fear. Fear of embarrassment or something.
Some of them, I fully believe it is intellectual dishonesty. I think some of them, it's just stupidity.
Yep.
I'm looking at Eric Hovind.
He just parrots his old man anyways.
Exactly. That's why I just think he's stupid.
I have a little something here in the comment section I'd like you to hear that came from Red Venture, because we were talking earlier about species that can no longer interbreed. However, he has raised a good point. He's saying that the rabbits we were referring to earlier may not be able to physically reproduce, but in a lab, through in vitro fertilization, they can still have the two species breed, so to speak.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they can do it in a lab.
I actually did not know that. That's very interesting. I'll definitely have to look more into that, because that...
And I forgot about that. So that's actually a very good point, Red. Thank you.
That actually that's very neat. That could further show just how genetically similar they are, to they can still reproduce, albeit not naturally, but interbreeding is interbreeding.
Yeah, well, it can be. I mean, today's science, they can do all kinds of crazy shit that we didn't think we could do before, right? So,
I mean, that's the same with every day we learn more and more about the world, and
Oh,
well,
he was
the
referring to
god.
something else. My bad.
Oh,
Red was talking about, I guess Staggerson had said something about Great Danes and Chihuahuas. Although I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think most of the dog breeds can still interbreed, and that's how you get mutts, right? So,
yes. With the exception of only, I think it's just a handful of species, oh, not breeds of dogs. Almost all of them can interbreed,
hmm,
and the only ones that can't is just because they've been artificially selected for so heavily that they
true,
are distinct genetic populations from
definitely.
other dogs.
It's funny. Still, for the Chihuahua, though, I don't know if it really wants to interbreed with a Great Dane because it'd
Oh,
probably
I
shit itself when it saw this
it,
horny ass Great Dane
it would.
chasing it around and be like, "Holy fuck!"
I don't know. Have you ever seen it? Have you ever seen a Chihuahua? They are not. They do not take things lightly.
No, I know some of them.
They
Their
would.
bark is huge.
Al, albeit if the Great Dane did get on top, they would be destroyed. But I do not see a Chihuahua. I do not see a Chihuahua letting it be the one.
No,
I
no.
definitely much see it the one doing the breeding,
Considering the Great Dane's penis is probably the size of the Chihuahua, so
if
you'd
not
split it
longer.
right
Yeah,
open. You have to
yeah.
wrap it in electric tape. Okay, that's from a really bad
Oh
joke.
God. Oh no.
That's from a really, really bad mistake.
No.
That's it. This video is gonna get taken down by YouTube.
Oh Lord. My first ever interview on YouTube, and it's gonna get taken down. All right, this is how I want to go.
Yeah. Using really lame, stupid, goofy, disturbingly gross jokes.
I mean, hey, I'm all for dog humor.
Oh, sure.
I mean, hello, I'm a German Jew atheist.
German
What?
Jew.
Yeah.
Oh,
By race.
wow. Because I was raised Jewish. So.
I was not.
Oh, okay. But you must have, I guess, in your bloodline then somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. German Jew. Jeez. It's almost like an
Yeah.
oxymoron a little bit.
I,
But
I
you know what I
mean,
mean.
especially when you throw in the atheist bit. Dear God. Ooh, the things Hitler would have wanted to do to me.
Staggers and Jags. How big is a Great Dane fetus? Probably the size of the Chihuahua.
Probably. I mean, Chihuahuas
Anyway.
all pretty small.
Yes, they are. I know my friend has
Um,
one. The thing's hilarious. It loves me too. It loves me a little too
uh,
much sometimes. It's always trying to hump my shoe half the time. So anyway.
have you seen the Ignoramus's comment?
Science works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. And I like it's through science all things are possible. Another one, which I'm like, I don't think we'll ever be able to have unassisted flight even through science.
I don't think we'll ever be able to flap our wings so hard we can fly in
Well,
Earth's
that's what I mean.
atmosphere.
Unassisted flight. We'll always have to either a giant
Oh.
slingshot or a plane, right? So, although the
I
giant
don't know.
slingshot sounds like it might be fun. That reminds me. You seen those
that
squirrel occult videos where they put the squirrel in the slingshot and it shoots it way out into the trees?
No, I have not. I'm gonna have to look those up.
It loves it too. It keeps coming back for more.
Really?
Yeah.
I have seen a video of a going boar hunting using a thermite derivative.
Oh, really?
Oh God, hold on. What is it that they use?
I'm not sure, but we're kind of way off topic here too. So.
Oh yeah.
But it's fun to do that sometimes.
Tannerite. That's it.
Oh, okay.
God, those things go flying. if they're not immediately incinerated, anyways.
Yeah, right.
um. Okay.
So back to the whole leaving religion behind thing.
Yeah.
How is your relationship nowadays with your family?
Um. So long as religion doesn't come up, it's fine.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Once religion comes up, things get heated because they, while they know I'm a good person, they will often assault that it's still, I just do good because it's God written on my heart, or I'm still somewhere deep down believe and do good to please God. And it's like,
No.
no, no,
No.
I
Good
do
without
good.
God.
Like, I do good because I it makes me feel good. Like,
Mhm.
I know that's completely selfish, but I don't like holding people. I want to help people. I don't need a sky fairy to tell me otherwise.
True enough. Tatted Atheist says, hey, flip your phone. He's like trying to say, do it sideways so that you're not like
Oh,
this.
sorry.
There
Uh,
you
uh,
go.
yeah, sorry. I didn't actually know this tablet could do that. I thought it might have. It's been about 5 years since I've touched this thing.
Oh, okay. Well, it still works good
I mean, it's been turned off.
for 5 years.
Yeah,
Oh, it probably feels very neglected.
probably.
I just got a brand new tablet, actually. So,
Oh, well, if this works, I may end up, if I can figure out how, uh, doing responses to videos, but I'm
sure.
not sure how that. I'm
That's
not
all
sure how
good.
that works.
What? The responses to videos, or how to use
No,
that to do it?
how to do it on a tablet.
Oh, I see. Like you'd probably just record yourself and then edit it together afterwards and then upload it to YouTube.
Maybe I don't know how to do that.
Well, it's
I
not
don't know
that
how to
bad.
edit.
The funny thing is on YouTube there are tutorial videos on how to do that, depending on the program you're using.
Oh,
Yeah,
neat.
yeah. So you can find that.
Okay.
Anyway, so is there anything like now that you don't really believe in God or anything? Is there anything about being a believer or religious in some respect that you miss about it? Like is like the community or obviously you probably miss some of your friends that decided to abandon you.
I do definitely miss the friends that I did lose, but in hindsight, if they couldn't be friends with me just because of a disagreement over something that even according to them they have no evidence for, I can't really say that they were good friends.
Well, if they
Especially
abandoned you for that, then
uh,
I
uh,
don't think they were.
especially with how they demonized me after it.
Yeah,
Um,
which just like rubbing salt in the wound, right?
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
Tadded wants to know what kind of tablet you've got.
it says LG on it,
So it's an LG. So it's Android.
I think.
Yeah, it would be if it's LG.
Like I said, this thing's like 5 years old. I do not remember. To be fair,
Okay, no problem.
I don't even remember how I got this thing.
I really dig the background that you've got there, the wallpaper, I guess, or
It's paint.
oh, is it? Did
Yep.
you paint that?
No.
Oh,
Old
I was
family
saying,
friend.
dude, you've got skills, man. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
No, I don't have nearly that much talent. I have just enough talent to be a snarky asshole. That's
Oh,
about
you'll
it.
fit right in with the rest of us. Trust me.
Oh,
One of us is even named
I mean,
Snarky.
I mean, I figured I would because I've already got 2 Twitter accounts banned. One of
Oh
them
wow.
in only 5 hours of making the account.
Oh really?
I
Dude,
insulted
that's
Islam,
oh fuck.
and you
Oh,
know
you
how it is.
insulted an idea. Oh boy.
Yeah,
So.
and you know how it is with the aggressives that run Twitter. They can't
Oh yeah.
have that.
Yeah. No kidding.
You can't have none of that insulting the greatest feminist on earth who fucked a 9-year-old.
No, Staggerson, you've not been on my show yet, but you're welcome to come on. But I thought you told me one time you didn't have much of a deconversion story, but we could talk about something else if you do want to. Anyway, and Red Venture, you got to come on my show too. Okay, carry on. Sorry.
Um, the Other than the friends, I will say I do miss the community get-togethers on all the holidays where it was really just a bunch of people from my community, some of which, in fact, most of which weren't even in my church at the time. They were in other denominational churches. Well, we would all go to each other's churches and just for that one day, would just ignore the denominational differences and just accept everyone's core beliefs in Jesus, God, all that. And, big old buffet. It was just an all day experience. And looking back, I do miss that mainly because, oh my God, all the green bean casserole. I love that stuff.
Oh yeah. It's always about the food.
Oh God, yeah.
That's why I still go to the family gatherings around like Passover and Hanukkah and stuff. Because man, I don't know, potato latkes are fucking awesome. Matzo ball soup is awesome.
Yeah, I know back when I was just a Baptist before I really took the faith seriously, I was almost ambivalent to it. I didn't really give a damn about who Jesus was, didn't understand concepts of heaven or hell, sin. As far as I was concerned, it was just a place that prohibited me from playing Spyro or Crash.
Crash Bandicoot, I used to love that.
God, I still do. I still have it on the original PS1.
Oh wow, I liked Spyro too. That was always fun.
Spyro, we bought Spyro when it became available for PS3.
Mm-hmm.
I still wish I had my PS3. I miss playing Spyro.
I still have one.
I have a PS1 and a PS4.
PS1 and PS4.
But the all the community get together days, I did appreciate just because, sure, while I may not have been able to play my games, I had a few cousins there. It was all the food, so it was just okay, fine. Play hide and seek. I can get some green bean casserole. I can get my sweet tea. I can at least try to find some enjoyment.
I don't care if I got to sit through a sermon if they got good food later.
Actually, no. That was why I didn't mind these days. We didn't have sermons on those days.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Simply because it was trying to avoid conflict. Because, like I said, it was other denominational churches,
right,
just all coming up in one big gathering. So we tried to avoid sermons because we understood there were differences between us.
Which, if you think about it,
makes no sense whatsoever.
Real, there wouldn't be anything like that.
Yeah, it would just be one. It makes no sense.
One religion, one book, that anyone could read if they picked
And
it
it
up
would
to
be
read it, no
crystal
matter
clear.
what your language is. Oh yeah, none of this fucking bullshit that they, he's mysterious and he's subtle and no, fuck that. That's your bullshit excuses so you can keep believing in nonsense.
Very much so. I mean, I hate that excuse looking back now. Like, oh, will this denomination or this denomination. I'm like, just, do you not see how that defeats your argument of a transcendent, omniscient deity? Um, I, but I do miss those fleeting moments, days where I could find enjoyment within the church. And then right around the time I want to say 14, I actually started to take it seriously. I had already been saved and baptized once before at like 8 or 9. But I just did that. I saw my mom get baptized. I saw she was crying. And I just like, oh, okay, this must be an important thing. So I said, yeah, sure, I accept all of this. Just not really thinking about it, not really understanding it. And at around 13, I stopped going to my family's church and started going to a different church with a few of my friends. And there I did start to take it a lot more seriously. Converted over to a fundamentalist view of it.
Really, you were fundamentally or a fundy for a while.
I was. That is definitely my most. I'm not sure if that is more shameful or if my young earth creationism is more shameful.
I think they're both on par.
I mean, they both came about at the same time. Started tasting, became a fundamentalist Baptist, became a young earth creationist. Just hardcore right wing goal, which at the time I didn't even know what that meant. I know my family was right wing, so it was just yeah, that makes sense.
Sure.
And no further thought applied. If they said this governor was good or bad, that was it. No. Right. Is that a piece of metal in my pen? That is. Ow. Metal shavings. Shitholes.
Ow.
Yeah. I mean, there really wasn't much further thought applied to it from that. It was just, well, they said this. I have no reason not to believe them, so therefore it must be true. And I was a fundamentalist for about 2 years, maybe a year and a half more, and then I started running into serious questions where it was, like I'm in woodworking now, and I understand that if just making a boat just a few 100 feet long, it starts to, like, the torsion just rips it apart. How could a boat on this size exist?
The whole thing is ridiculous, dude. I mean, that boat was the size of the Queen Mary or some shit.
It was actually about 3/4 the size of. It was 75% larger than the Titanic.
What? Really?
If I remember right, it's been like a year or so since I've actually looked at it. I could very well be wrong. I likely am. Please do not take my word for that. I beg of you. I may be a cunt. I may be an asshole, but I am very wrong on so many things. Um,
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I got a question for you from one of the
okay.
people.
Um, so it
Or
was looking at.
do you have the comments visible?
I do not. I can pull it up real quick. Let me
Because
do that.
Humanobo had a question for you. So
Okay. Then what do you think is your family's best argument for God or religion? One argument that left you speechless. Oh, that would definitely be. Um, oh shit. Would what's the name of it? Um, believe now just in case.
oh, you mean what's
Pascal's wager.
Pascal's wager? Yeah, yeah.
Uh, at the time when I was first starting to question, I had never before hold of Pascal's wager.
Mhm.
That it did definitely leave me dumbstruck. I didn't know how to respond. Um, it actually took me about a month and a half to answer that question. Um, and I blame it simply on just having my head so far up my ass about religion that even though I was questioning it, I still didn't want to question too much, simply because I was always taught that questioning God or the religion was massive no. That was
Of course it
not a
is.
thing. That was not a thing you did.
And the
Um,
way I look at that is, if he was real again, he would have absolutely no fucking problem with you questioning anything,
oh,
because
absolutely not.
he'd be like, no, it's blah or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you have this question. There's your answer.
Yeah. If you didn't like the question, he could just Thanos Infinity Glove you out of existence. So.
Yeah. Um, I mean, it also didn't help that I did take an absolutism view towards his omnipotence and all that. So it was like I was in the camp that can he make a round, like can he make a round square? Yes.
Mhm.
Can he do the logically impossible? Yes. Uh, of course, now I to call that naive is I don't quite think that covers it. That is an absolutely asinine view of it. Um,
Well, there is one way to make a round square. I'm not sure if you know that. You can make
I on a globe you could 90
no
degree turn. You can.
no. Hang on. When you look at this from this angle, it looks round, right? But let's say we'll use like this
Oh,
much of it, and then you
oh,
do it
okay.
that way. It looks like a square, right?
Yeah, okay. Though I
That's
how I
trickery, man.
yeah, that is how I viewed it at the time was it was just looking head on. He could make a circle a square without messing with its shape or anything, just because he was God. He could do that. And now it's just good God. I don't even understand it.
So Ignoramus found out the size of the
Yeah.
Titanic versus Noah.
Okay.
But the Titanic exists. Noah's Ark never existed. Neither did Gilgamesh's boat.
Gilgamesh did not use a boat.
Well, it was like a giant big square thing, apparently.
It was a almost like a bucket. Um, the anything else you want? I'm not really sure where to go. I've actually never talked to many people about my deconversion story, just simply because it's still taboo around here.
Right.
While most people around me know I'm an atheist, it's not something I ever bring up simply because I don't like being ostracized.
Yeah, nobody wants to be ostracized, especially by people that you love and claim to love you too, right? So,
Yeah.
well, are you down for a little bit further? Because we'll end this chat, and then what I usually do is I do something called an after party, and I invite a few other of my friends in, also to sort of get to talk to them face to face, like you know, and they're always the people that are in my usual suspects group. So, like Steve actually just showed up and he's like, "What the hell, you guys are? I missed this shit." So he'll probably want to jump in the after party and say hello to you. So if you've got about another hour and a bit, you can hang out.
I don't have to leave for another hour and a half to go to walk, so I'm good.
Okay. Well, then we'll keep the after party to about an hour and a bit so that you'll still have a little time to get ready and go to work.
Hold on. I've got to put this on charge real quick.
No problem. What we'll do is we'll end this one, and then I'll send you a new link, and you can jump in at that point.
Go. All right.
But holy crap. You can hear the energy.
It buzzes. Yeah, it buzzes.
You know what
gotta
that
get
is?
that high power charge.
That's the old machine going, "I'm old."
Yeah, probably. Just like, oh god, what are you doing to me?
Yeah. Oh, it's too much. I can't handle this now. Anyways, so what I'll do
is boast.
We'll end this. Thank you very much, by the way. And it was such short notice because we literally just met on like days ago on Twitter.
Like 2 days ago.
I was looking for someone to fill in the spot that I had, and you jumped at the chance, which is awesome. So welcome to the community as well, by the way, our little community. And
thank you
so much for doing this. And we'll do an after party.
Thank you for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure.
While I may not have been able to answer much, I do appreciate being able to talk about it in a welcoming environment.
Oh, it's my pleasure, dude. And I think that conversations like these are important because there's other people out there that have doubts too, and they might stumble on videos like this and realize that, sure, it can be tough to get out of belief systems, but once you do, I'll tell you what, man, it's so much more worth it. When I first was able to finally escape completely, one of the things I noticed right away is the feeling of freedom.
Oh,
I didn't
definitely
have all these worries, right? So
I didn't have to worry about my family if something happened, were they going to heaven or hell. It was definitely a liberating feeling. And if you are watching this in the future or are watching it now and have doubts, whatever.
You must be talking about Nacha Witness. Nacha lives. He lives in the future.
I don't have the chat pulled up right now. My phone's off to the side.
That's okay. That's all right. No, Nacha's from Australia, so he's the day.
Okay. That bastard didn't warn us about 9/11.
That's right.
That son of a bitch. My Twitter is Raze _2.
I've got it in the description below.
Okay. Feel free to, if you have any questions or anything about my deconversion story or want to talk to me or anything, just shoot me a message or tag me in a post. I may not be able to answer immediately due to sleeping in the day and walking at night, but if I get a chance, I will gladly answer.
Awesome. Again, man, thank you so much for doing this with me. And thanks everyone for tuning in to check this out. Welcome our newcomer to the community. And as I always say at the end of these guys, remember, they call it faith because it's not knowledge. That's a Christopher Hitchens quote, by the way, and I've never said that before, so I thought I'd clear that up. All right, guys, we'll see you guys next time. Yeah, I can't take credit for that. We'll see you guys next time, and we'll be jumping into an after party within the next 10 minutes, so stick around.